If you're the person in meetings who has the clearest idea in the room but speaks the least, and when someone asks you why you never speak up, you shut down the topic with a short sentence and retreat. This isn't a lack of confidence, it's being cautious, because you're analyzing the risks of the environment before you generate ideas. This strategy may protect you, but it also makes you invisible. And in a moment, I'll show you why this is slowly sabotaging your career. Imagine this. You're in a weekly team meeting. Your boss is giving a presentation. You see it. You even know the solution. And within the first few minutes, you realize that something isn't quite right with what's being said. But you stay silent. Because in a split second, your brain thought, trying to correct this mistake might cause more harm than good. You could put your boss in an awkward position. The meeting could turn into an unnecessary debate, and most likely the decision won't change anyway. From the outside, you look like someone who is introverted, but what you're actually doing is protecting your mind. The truth that escapes everyone's notice: smart people stay silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because they wait for the moments when speaking will truly make a difference. According to research, highly intelligent employees generally speak less in meetings. Why do you stay silent? Because most workplaces reward the loudest idea, not the best idea. While you think for 5 minutes and come up with a good solution, someone else says the first thing that comes to mind. The boss sees them as active and labels you as just silent. But in reality, you're waiting for the right moment instead of speaking up immediately. But the truth is, the corporate world interprets this silence as disinterest. Your performance review says, should be more active in meetings, but the reality is, you are already active, just internally. Now let's dig a little deeper, because it's not just about staying silent, it's also about the risks that speaking up might create. Smart employees understand this very well. Being right at work can be riskier than winning everyone's approval. Imagine a meeting. The company is discussing a new project plan. You point out, based on data and experience, that some parts of this plan could cause problems. You explain logically and offer alternatives. Everyone listens to you quietly. The boss says, "Thanks, we'll take that into consideration." Months later, the plan doesn't deliver the expected results, just as you predicted. But no one says, "You were right." Instead, some comment, "You're always criticizing," because being right exposes others' mistakes. And most people don't want to accept that. But the problem isn't silence, it's silence without strategy. Now I'll show you what real professionals do. If they speak up, they choose the right time and the right way. They carefully decide which ideas to share and which discussions to engage in. They calculate the impact and possible consequences of every word. Silence is power. As long as it's a choice, it protects you and hides your strategy. But staying silent without a plan only makes you invisible. Your ideas go unnoticed, your voice isn't heard, and the value of your insights is lost. Number 1, speak selectively, but speak effectively. You don't have to speak at every meeting. In fact, staying silent most of the time doesn't make you look weak. On the contrary, when used correctly, it's a strategy. But once a month, say something memorable and impactful. Keep it short, clear, and backed by data. Whether you're pointing out risks in a project or highlighting opportunities, make your words concrete and meaningful. Then remain silent again. Preserve the value of your words and amplify their impact. This way, your silence won't be perceived as a loss of value, but as a silence that makes a difference, because people will think he doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's worth listening to. Number 2, make written communication your weapon. Speaking in meetings is a game of the moment. You can be caught unprepared. Words fly, misunderstandings happen, and often political games can overshadow you. But written communication is your domain. Emails, reports, documentation. Here, you can show your depth. Without taking political risks, you can elaborate on your ideas and present your logic step by step. Number 3, prefer one-on-one conversations. Smart people can get lost in group dynamics because the group hears the loudest voice. Whatever the majority says loudly, the focus shifts there. Your clever, deeply thought-out ideas can get lost in the noise of the majority, but in one-on-one conversations, a different game begins. There, you gain depth, you gain nuance, you gain impact. You can fully capture the other person's attention. Your ideas, questions, and concerns don't go unnoticed. For example, when you see a risk in a project, meeting one-on-one instead of getting lost in a meeting speeds things up. A 5-minute chat with your boss in the hallway can be more effective than a 2-hour meeting. Because there's no political performance there, just ideas. Number 4, position your silence. People don't know why you're silent. You might be shy. You may not want to share your opinion, or you may just seem uninterested. But the truth is often different. Silence is sometimes a strategic choice. It's a conscious decision to avoid speaking without thinking, to preserve the value of your words, and to calculate the risks of the environment. And most people don't notice this. They just think you're quiet. If you don't tell them, they'll write their own story. But you can say something like this: I usually prefer to listen in meetings. But if I have an opinion, I will definitely share it. This simple sentence changes everything. Now, your silence is seen as a choice, not a weakness. Number 5, be visible by supporting others. Staying silent means postponing speaking and acting strategically. But that doesn't mean you'll be invisible. You can show your contribution by supporting someone else's idea. For example, when talking one-on-one with your boss or a teammate, you can say, I agree with your suggestion, and I would also suggest the following. This way, your ideas are heard, your contribution is visible, and you make an impact without breaking your strategic silence. This method positions you as someone who is quiet but effective. Supporting others allows you to add value without directly putting yourself forward. In short, silence is power here. But every sentence you support makes you a more noticeable and respected employee. Finally, perhaps the deepest point is this: smart people stay silent because most workplaces value visibility, not thought. You stayed silent during an hour-long meeting, but the deep analysis you did sitting at your desk was far more valuable. But the organization's eye notices the loudspeaker. This is where the system breaks down. Organizations reward visibility, not depth. They promote talking, not thinking. And when you play along by staying silent, you start losing. Perhaps the real question is, should you try to change this system, or should you build your own strategy? The answer is clear: you should build your own strategy. Because changing the system can be difficult, but you can turn your silence into a weapon. The next time someone asks you, why don't you ever speak up? Remember this: silence is not weakness. Selective speech is freedom. You don't have to comment on everything. You can choose strategic impact, because power is most visible when it is controlled. So who are you? Are you part of the Speaks at Every Meeting team or the Speaks at Impactful Moments crew? If this perspective resonates with you, subscribe, because here we talk strategy,